Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
And good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to catch my drift here at Wham Talk 1600. And you can call into the show today, 734-822-1600. It is kind of our Memorial Day broadcast, I guess, since Memorial Day is Monday. And it's everyone should remember, listen, it's not just a weekend with a Monday off, a long weekend. This is an important weekend. It's the time for us to remember all our great veterans and active duty personnel and even your first responders. You know what? These are the men and women that take care of us, that protect us, that take care of our country and give us all the rights we have today. This, for all you protesters and you activists out there, if it weren't for our men and women in uniform, you wouldn't be able to do that. You wouldn't be able to get your $15 an hour from George Soros to go out and actively throw things around, rocks and bottles. You know, those are this chance to protest. And it should be done peacefully because, you know what, if you're doing violence, that is not a right. That is crime. That's all it is. And I'm hoping, you know, I thought about this the other day, that the cops putting their butts on the line out there to try and drag some of these protesters who are being violent. You know what? With the high-def cameras, why don't they just high-def camera everybody that's doing the violence and then run their pictures through a database? There's got to be pictures of these people when they have driver's license, right? Even the illegals have driver's license now. So, but this is Memorial Day, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So if you have a story you want to share, if you want to give a shout-out to a man or woman in uniform, somebody overseas, a loved one, whatever, please feel free to call in and do that with us today. That's something I would love to be able to have you do. So you can call into the show, 734-822-1600. Before we get too deep into it, let's take care of a little business. If you're looking to rent a pontoon boat, maybe do the chain of lakes up here in Pinckney, you might want to try calling Claves Marina, 734-426-4532. They've got great rentals, but they also have great deals on boats. You name it, pontoons, ski boats, stand-up paddle boards. They have a full complement of stuff that you would need to enjoy the water this summer. So you can call 734-426-4532. That's Claves Marina in Pinckney, right on McGregor Road. You can go to their website, www.claves, K-L-A-V-E-S, clavesmarina.com, clavesmarina.com, 734-426-4532. Okay, so I wanted to start out. I was kind of mystified that instead of being home on Memorial Day and going to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier or going to Pearl Harbor or anything else, that Barack Obama would be overseas in Japan celebrating this Memorial Weekend with the victims at Hiroshima. Victims. I understand people feel bad. Thousands and thousands of people died in Hiroshima and Nagasaki at the end of World War II when we dropped the atomic bombs, but you know, we didn't start that war, did we? We didn't start it. We finished it, and we finished it strong. And I think Harry Truman, you know, this is what's happening today in our schools. They're not teaching that Harry Truman made a good decision to drop a bomb, an atomic bomb on Japan. Do you realize the millions of lives that dropping those two bombs? People want to say, oh, look, you know, 240,000 or 79,000 died in those two bomb attacks. 75,000 people were dying a pop when we were dropping firebombs on the cities in Japan. More people died that way than by the atomic bombs. It wasn't just the destructive power of those weapons that ended the war. It was the sheer shock and awe that made Japan finally surrendered. These people were kamikazing. They were lining up young men, women, and children to do suicide bombing when our troops hit the ground. And if you had a an aunt, an uncle, a grandfather, whatever in World War II, in the Pacific, battling, there's a very good chance that if those bombs had not been dropped, your grandparent may not have made it out of World War II, because they were estimating 500,000 American soldiers were going to die trying to take the Japanese mainland. Imagine that. Another 500,000 Americans gone. How many people would not be here today if we'd lost another 500,000 American soldiers in the Pacific during World War II? You have to think about the fact that, yes, it was a horrible thing, but in the end, it saved lives. And what Harry Truman did was tough. Probably the tough. I'm sure he was haunted to the day he died thinking about it. But what he had to do was save American lives. That was a president who looked at America first. And it wasn't just American lives that he would have spared. There were 1 million Japanese people, more than that, probably would have died in the increased bombings. So why did and I'm not going to play any of his speech, because we've heard it all over the news, and a lot of the other guys have hit it. And you know what? I don't want to even listen to any. I listened to almost the entire speech of Barack Obama at Hiroshima yesterday. And I frankly am a little disgusted, not only at the timing, but at the fact that, and these stories are at thedailydrift.com, so I'm so emotionally racked by this that I couldn't even get the show started right. But there's a story that I put up from Breitbart on the Daily Drift today, so you can get the link to Breitbart there. And it's talking about, should Congress censure President Obama over Hiroshima? He told the world on Friday in Hiroshima that the American decision to drop nuclear bombs on Japan in 1945 arose from humanity's worst instincts, including nationalist fervor and religious zeal. What he should have done was clarify that nationalist fervor was coming from Japan. They're the ones that were starting the war and killing people and taking land and taking countries and slaughtering people. And that culminated with us getting in when they did a sneak attack on Pearl Harbor, right? Derek, do you have track one ready? This is a little clip about Truman dropping the bomb.
Stepping up the firebomb raids for emphasis, Truman tried one last time to pressure the Japanese into giving up. He sent an ultimatum to Tokyo demanding immediate surrender. But he left out specific mention of the nuclear peril ahead if it were not accepted. The firebombs were devastating, but the demand for surrender was ignored. Truman believed he had used up his options. He now gave the order that the atomic bomb be dropped on Japan.
It was my purpose to wind up the war as soon as possible. I believe that no man could fail to use the bomb and afterward look his countrymen in the face.
Okay. If you just go into Google or YouTube and look at some of that history, because I don't think they're teaching it anymore, and I think a lot of us have probably forgotten. Guys my age, you know what? I was all about World War II. When I was in elementary school, I read every book on the conflict in Europe and the conflict in the Pacific. That's what got me through my elementary school years. That's everything I pulled out of the library was World War II related. You know, to that greatest generation. I'm not sure you can even find those books. The Battle of Britain, the Battle of Guadalcanal, all those books are probably not even in school libraries anymore. Let's take a call from Ken who wants to talk about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Ken, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment. Speaking as someone whose father was a World War II veteran, I totally reject these people who want to apologize that we dropped the bomb. Look, we saved thousands of American lives. And we have to realize that if we had continued the war with Japan, so many thousands would have been lost, both American and Japanese. And so, Barack Obama, I curse you. I say to you, you're wrong. And I say to those that want to apologize, I don't apologize. Why should we apologize for saving American lives? And so when it comes to Hiroshima, Nagasaki, we did the right thing. And you know what? We're looking at another situation. We're at war with devout followers of Islam. And I would say it's time to repeat Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Hey, why don't we nuke Mecca? Where are the Muslims getting their marching orders? Mecca. And so, getting back to Japan, we didn't do anything wrong. And it's so important to repeat, we saved American lives by what we did.
Yes, you're right, Ken. And, and I would encourage everybody, if you're listening, pass this comment on. This is Memorial Weekend. Take a few minutes out of your day. Take your kids at breakfast, your grandkids, whatever you got. Pull out the YouTube and just pull up the stuff about World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and give a little respect and history that they're not teaching in school because they're not. These kids are not getting the value of the American serviceman and woman and what they give to this country. And foremost on any teacher's mind should be, be proud of your country and be proud of the men and women and be thankful to them for what they've given. Because they've given their lives, they've given their limbs, their families have lost time with them. These are the most important people in the country. And
one thing
this weekend,
so important to stress, Barack Obama and the Democrats hate America. They despise this country as it was founded. Well, you know what? I'll tell you, I despise them. And I'm speaking politically, not physically. We need to crush these cockroaches. I love America. And I love the American military. And I love the American people. And we need to do what has to be done to protect the American people. And we need to crush, as I said, these cockroaches.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Ken.
Politically speaking.
Yeah, I hear you. It's passionate. I'm glad you're as passionate about it as I am, Ken. Well, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
And Donald Trump for president.
You had to give it in. All right. Thanks, Ken. Take care.
Take care.
Have a great weekend. Let's take a call from Ed in Ypsilanti. Ed, welcome to the show.
Hey, my brother.
How you doing, man?
Let me ask you a question. I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm doing good.
Good. Now, let me ask you a question. Where is Mecca located? Do you know what country Mecca is located in?
That would be Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yeah. That's one of our strategic allies. So, yeah, let's nuke Mecca. Are you kidding me? Come on, let's give it some thought. My goodness.
He's speaking rhetorically.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Now, as a child, I remember you couldn't go in the school library and get a copy of 30 Seconds Over Tokyo. God is my co-pilot. All that stuff was always checked out. Your friends had it. You had to wait till they were done with it.
Yeah.
I remember that. But I wanted to tell you something else, an interesting story. When I was in the Air Force, I was actually working with, dig this, a former U-boat commander. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
A former U-boat commander who had been stationed in Japan in World War II. While he was there, he married a Japanese woman. And over beers, he's telling me, yep, he and his wife both agree nuking Hiroshima and Nagasaki was the thing to do, or his wife, her mom, dad, all the little old men would be fighting our guys on the shores.
Yeah.
With sticks, pitchforks, hatchets, whatever they could do, and we'd be mowing them down.
The Imperial Japanese Army was as extreme as anything you're seeing out of ISIS today. I mean, you want to talk about the rape of Nanking, the slaughtering of babies on bayonets. That the Japan of those years was a country run by the evilest of evil people. They really were. And when you look at them today, the most amazing thing is that the people of Japan today are as peace-loving as they could possibly be, and you gotta give the United States credit for it, because even though it was an unconditional surrender, we treated them well. We helped them grow their economy and rebuild.
We did
America. Everything. We were America at its best. And for anybody to try and turn the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki as a bad, evil, racist thing that the United States did, you know what? Shut your mouth. That is totally not true, because what America did was end the war in the most humane and quick possible fashion. And that happened to take the atomic bombs.
Like you alluded to earlier, we leaflet bombed them first.